Winning cures everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in. It is the Winning Cures Everything show. I'm Gary. And he's Chris.
And I'm Chris. Sorry, guys.
We are trying to get the most up-to-date information that we can possibly get. It is Thursday, March 21st, the first day of the NCAA Tournament. We are pumped. We are prepped. We are ready to go. The show is brought to you by Tunica, Mississippi, the South's premier sports gambling destination. They've got 6 incredible sports books. You can find more information about all of them and everything that you can do in Tunica at tunicatravel.com. We are coming to you live today from Sam's Town Casino.
That's right.
How you feeling about it?
Feels good. It's nice up here. Already got a little bit of a crowd going on.
Yeah, they've got a lot of people up here. They opened up the sports book early. Come hang out with us. We're going to be here all day. We're broadcasting again at 4 p.m. This is Central Time. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm ready. This is my favorite day of the year.
It's one of them. It's up there.
It's, okay, first day of college football. That's on up there too, right?
Is
there anything else that compares to this?
Oh, Masters Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Well, in some years, right?
I don't know.
The anticipation for this just feels different. Like,
it's one of the best days of the year. It doesn't have to be the best. Come on now. We're in agreement.
Okay,
here.
it's one of the best days of the year. As always, share out the show. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app. Go check those things out. Comment. Hang out with us. Just leave some nice stuff. Don't be overly mean. We know we can be wrong sometimes, and that's okay. We're not worried about that. We're going to go over this morning the morning slate of games. So we're talking Minnesota-Louisville all the way down to Murray State-Marquette. That game is at 3:30 p.m. Central Time on CBS. At 4 o'clock, right in the middle of that game, we're going live again to talk about the last 8 games of the day. 16 games. It's going to be a fantastic time. You've already filled out your brackets. We got that. We're not here to help you fill out a bracket necessarily. We're here to help you win money. That's the idea behind this.
We'll cash tickets today.
We cash in today. Believe that. So we're going to talk about the games. We're going to roll through all of that. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, by the way, you can follow us on Twitter at Winning Cures. You can follow me at Gary WCE.
You can follow me at Chris B. Giannini.
You can follow the show on Facebook, facebook.com/Winning Cures Everything, or just go over to winningcureseverything.com. It's got everything you need to know over there. We've got our wives versus husbands bracket that the wives have absolutely kicked our asses the last 2 years. So we're hoping that we're back on the right side of things this season. We hope. I hope your bracket turns out
on the right side of things this season as opposed to the last 2 seasons.
My wife has been rubbing it in my face that she has won the pool the last 2 years, and she hadn't watched a game.
Yeah.
Has no idea. She was like, well, I just go by the higher seeds unless I feel like an underdog.
For a month, so I can't.
Well, but you've at least watched. You have an idea.
I follow these teams throughout the year. I just don't pay a lot of attention.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. All right, you ready to jump into this thing?
I mean, let's go.
Let's go ahead. Let's do Minnesota and Louisville, 11:15 a.m. Central Time. It's on CBS. Of course, the storyline, Richard Pitino against the school that fired his dad. Opening total was 136. It stayed at that. The opening line, -5. It closed at that, or it's going to close at that. We would assume it's still there right now. My projections have got this actually -4.5 for Louisville. It's about the same thing. All of my projection stuff, I go through and average out projections from other analytic sites. So Warren Nolan, Massey, Ken Palm, Sagarin, and then you can look at things like Bang the Book or whatever. But, yeah, they've got it at -4.5. Louisville, 0-6 straight up the last 6 games where they were worse than a 6 seed. And I know that doesn't matter here because Chris Mack, 6-1 in first round with 4 of 6 coming as a 6 seed or worse.
I was just about to say,
Chris Mack is different.
Coach.
Yeah.
It's a different coach.
Now, this is a 7-10 game. The last 5 years, 7 seeds have won 14 out of 20 games against 10 seeds.
Okay.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's okay.
Which makes sense. The 7 should be favored. They should be the better team, right?
That's right.
That's the way it goes. Big Ten double-digit seeds, 9-20 in the tournament. Minnesota's Jordan Murphy, the best rebounder in the tournament, 11.5. That's something to pay attention to. How you feeling about this one?
we talked about when we broke down our brackets the other day. I like Louisville here. I think they're really well coached. I think they're really well played. I think they're going to have a little bit extra stank on them to say, you know what, we're not going to let a little Patino come in and push us around. I do think the NCAA a little mean in making this a first-round matchup.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous.
It's going to get good TV odds, and everybody. I mean, the old kind of cliche is this is a TV show, and
I know you're right.
Something to watch when it first tipped off.
Here's the numbers on the year.
Will Rick be in the building?
No, he will not. He's already come out and said he's not going to do that.
Okay.
So, which is perfectly fine, right?
That's fine.
That makes sense.
I was just curious. Would he be there?
Who was it? The Eye on College Basketball podcast. You know, our boy GP and Matt Norlander. He said it would be just astounding if Patino was in the building wearing a Minnesota sweatshirt and his Kentucky national championship ring.
I'd have him front row right next to
the Minnesota bench.
To the Minnesota bench, to where it looks like he's a coach.
Yeah.
You don't know, is that guy on the team or is that just a fan?
Is he? Exactly who is that guy? Here's the numbers on it. Minnesota as a dog this year, 8-11 straight up, 11-8 against the spread. Louisville as a favorite, 16-2 straight up, 9-7-2 against the spread.
Yes, sir.
5. Does that seem like maybe too much?
No, I think the number's right. If you put gun to my head and say, Chris, you got to make a pick, I would take the points. But this is not one. I know this is a popular.
That's probably the smart thing to do with most of them.
I'm going to be taking Minnesota's money line on this one.
That's it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do. So when I first looked at the matchup, I was like, Louisville, they blew they blow games at the end of the game, right? Man, but that's against Duke and North Carolina and whatever, and I don't think that Minnesota is near that level. Now Minnesota will muck it up and make you play dirty, but I think Louisville can play dirty. So I'm going to take Louisville to win here. I might. Depending on if the line drops any, I would just go money line on it. Yeah. But yeah, if
right now,
gun to head,
right now at Samstown, it's minus 220. I'm probably going to stay away from money line. If you want to take Minnesota, you get plus 180. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Unless you want to toss it into a parlay, but
I do like Minnesota plus the 5. I think it'll be a close game. I really think it'll be a close game. If Minnesota wins, it won't shock me. I mean, it's sitting it's sitting a hill I'm dying on. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I'm with you.
So.
I'm with you on that. Let's go back to the whole tournament in general, right? National champions have 2 boxes that they have to check.
Okay.
And this is over the past forever. You need a pro guard or a pro projected guard.
Got it.
And a top 40 defense. There are only 10 teams this year that fit that criteria.
Well, that's more teams than I think have a chance to win it.
I agree with you because when you hear the names, you'll see. Michigan, probably a pretty good chance.
I think they got a chance to win it.
Duke, pretty good chance.
Yeah, I think they got a chance to win it.
Kentucky.
I think they can win it.
Kansas.
I don't think they can win it at all.
Nope. I don't think so either.
There's no scenario where I see Kansas winning the national championship this year.
I don't have them getting out of the first round.
Oh, that's fine.
But
you know what I'm saying? I just don't think it's an option.
I don't think so either. I think they lost too much. Virginia, that's definitely a possibility.
I can absolutely see them win it.
North Carolina, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Gonzaga, absolutely. Virginia Tech.
They're one of the few non-1-2 seeds that I think has a chance.
Had they actually had Justin Robinson for the entire because he's missed the last 12 games. Had they actually had him, I guarantee you they would be a 2 seed right now.
You might be right.
I mean, they are a fantastic basketball team.
I mean, they're one of the few teams all year that beat Duke.
Yep.
So they're not scared of them.
No, they're certainly not scared of them. Now, they didn't beat him with Zion, but they also did not have Justin Robinson when they beat him. So
listen, Duke still has 3 NBA caliber players on that team.
Oh, I agree.
The fact that they didn't have a 4th is a shame that people would use that as an excuse.
Well, the excuse is
2 or 3 guy and a number 5 guy and maybe a number 10 guy.
You're talking about
not enough to win games.
Yeah, but Zion is the best player.
It doesn't matter
in the NCAA.
While I agree with that, it should not matter if you're the Golden State Warriors. One guy can't fall down the stairs and all of a sudden you not be able to win games anymore.
I mean, you got a point. Okay, next one up. Purdue.
Man,
I don't think they got a chance.
I don't know if they can win it.
And then Marquette.
That would shock the hell out.
That would absolutely shock me as well. Since 2010, only 12 of 36 Final Four appearances have actually come from 1 seeds.
So because of that, they don't think teams like Tennessee can win it because they don't play good enough defense.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I could see that.
That would surprise me because Tennessee is one of the few teams I do think has a chance to actually win it all.
Well, they've got senior leadership. They're strong. Like they're a big physical team. Yeah.
Don't make mistakes. They're not going to beat themselves.
No, you're right about that. And we'll talk about Tennessee and
oh yeah, that's
all that. But
we're going through this, and I'm thinking of names left off.
Yeah, that's one of them.
There wasn't many teams left off there that I think, because like I said, there's more teams on that list that I think actually really have a chance. I think Tennessee's the only one that you didn't mention.
Yeah, that actually
has a live chance to win it all. And
well, the furthest, like Tennessee's never made a Final Four.
Well, neither's Virginia.
No, Virginia's made a Final Four. They just haven't won a national championship. But Tony Bennett has never been to a Final Four.
Okay,
and so that's
okay.
what that is.
That's fine.
Let's move on. Let's talk about Yale and your LSU Tigers.
What do you got? What do you want? What do you need?
LSU,
don't get fancy here, guys.
The shortest favorite as a 3 seed since West Virginia lost to Stephen F. Austin as a 7-point favorite back in 2016. No Will Wade. That is a massive deal. I feel like now, of course, LSU has more talent.
Whole lot of FU on that team right now.
Yeah.
Just we're gonna leave this thing scorched earth.
And Florida was just a bad matchup. Like they match up well with LSU.
That's right.
That's the way that goes. The 14 seed has beaten a 3 in 4 of the last 6 tournaments. You're going to hear me say that a lot because it's probably going to happen this year.
A14 seed.
A14. That doesn't mean that Yale.
Yeah.
Let's
seed probably win.
Here.
That's okay.
I do have you something.
Well, the other 3 14 seeds, well, one of them plays tonight, and then the other 2 will play tomorrow.
Yeah. Interesting fact.
Okay.
The Ivy League champ has won in the first round 4 of the last 9 years, all as a 12 seed or lower. 4 of the 5 losses were by single digits. 3 of them came by exactly 2 points. And Penn, Kansas last year is the only one that didn't fall into that, and it was way closer than the final was last year.
Correct.
So the Ivy League champ every year has showed out pretty well.
I'm not pushing away, but that's fine. Okay.
Yale actually has NBA talent and whatnot. They could reasonably do this.
Okay.
No, I'm not buying them to. Here's the straight up and whatever numbers.
So the closing line is -8.
Yeah, and it went from -7.5 to -8. My projections have -7.78, which is about right there, right?
So you got to pick. Who would you take?
I would take Yale with the points. I would not go money line on this one. I would just take Yale with the points because I think it could end up being a close game.
Okay.
I don't trust Tony. What's his name? The LSU interim coach.
Oh yeah.
I don't trust him.
If he's the interim coach, you don't. I mean, why would you? He didn't have any experience doing this. You know what I trust?
Well, no, I mean he does. He was just awful as a head coach at North Texas.
I have tons of experience on this team, and these players made it through the SEC. It's a hell of a gauntlet of a schedule.
I mean, as far as experience, like they don't have a ton of NCAA tournament. They don't have a ton of.
I'm in the middle of having an argument here. They made it through the SEC. They're not. These aren't freshmen. These aren't kids anymore. Okay.
No, okay, you're right. You're right.
They've been through a tough season. Not just a regular
season. It's a lot of freshmen and sophomores,
they
but
through the Ivy League here. Okay.
No, you're right.
All right.
I think the Ivy League's a little better than people give it credit for, but
really good teams in the SEC.
Yeah, no, there really is that.
They won that conference.
Justin on Facebook jumped in. He said, "Let's talk about over/under Johnny Football last in Memphis. Another day, another time. We'll see what he does this weekend." And then he said, "A number 14 will win this year." I'm right.
And number 14 will win this year. It'll be this one. This one will. Oh, that's
not this one. Not yet. Do you want it to be Yale and LSU? He didn't say
14.
No, 14.
Oh,
number 14 seed. Yeah, number 14 seed will win this year.
You say it wrong, I'm going to get the wrong.
That's my apologies then. Yale 1-4 straight up as a dog this year.
Well, it won't be this one.
And against the spread. LSU 20-4 straight up as a favorite, 12-12 against the spread. So I see LSU winning. I think it could be a really close game.
Okay.
Yale, a lot of experience. They do have some NBA talent on the team, one main guy, but they've got guys that can earn NBA contracts. They got a lot of shooters. That's a good basketball team. Okay. Think about it. They've only been a dog 5 times this year.
Yeah, but they've played.
I'm with you. I understand where you're coming from.
You can respect the Ivy League.
And I will. Ivy League champ, won in the first round 4 of the last 9 years, as less than a 12 seed. Let's move on. Let's talk.
4 of the last 9. 4 of the last 9. That's not a good number. That's not a good stat.
As a 12 seed or worse?
Yeah, but 12 seeds win. 13 seeds win.
But they're not expected to win all the time. 4 out of 9 is almost 50%.
Those 5 seeds and 4 seeds that they play are misseeded anyway.
The 4 and 5 seeds are ones that.
You think Marquette's a legit 5 seed?
No, I think that they and Villanova should have been swapped.
So if an Ivy League school played, if Yale was matched up with Marquette, let's say Yale was a 12 seed and they got matched up with Marquette, but
that's the thing. Yale's a 14 seed though, instead of like facing a 3.
Doesn't matter. It's where the match. That's where it is today. But all these previous times they were matched up against teams. When they played Kansas, they got whooped.
No, you're okay.
When they played real teams, they got beat.
No, you're right. You're right. And LSU, for all intents and purposes,
this year they're a real team.
Definitely a real team. Definitely. You ready?
I
ain't talking trash about the Tigers. I said they're gonna win.
Keep talking trash.
But I would take Yale on the money line. Let's move on. Let's talk about 12:30 p.m. on TNT. New Mexico State against Auburn. 12-5. Auburn 8-0 in first-round games. Does that surprise you? They've only been to the tournament 8 times?
No.
That's not a big basketball factory.
Yeah, no. Bruce Pearl is one of the best coaches in this tournament.
I agree with that. He's
going to have his kids ready to play.
New Mexico State, 0-11 in first-round games. 2-6 against the spread in their last 8. New Mexico State, great rebounding team. Everything else, 5 seeds went 4-0 against 12 seeds last year. The line is Auburn -7, or it opened that way. It's now -7.5. The projections have it at -6. Yeah, -6. So, it's right around the correct number.
I know people love New Mexico State. They got like 30-something wins.
They're 30-4 this season.
And I know that's a lot of wins. It's not against great competition.
I think they're, again, New Mexico State, great rebounding team, etc. Everybody talks about Auburn's guards, and that's one of the things about this, right? New Mexico plays small, and Auburn plays small, but Okeke for Auburn is going to eat them alive on the inside.
And if Auburn hits threes, there's nobody in this tournament that will beat them.
I agree with that. Now, the other side of this is that I don't believe that they will be able to stay as hot as they have been for the entire tournament.
Eventually, that's why I don't think they're going to win at all. Is because eventually they're going to have a shooting game that's not great. And when they do, that team will knock them off.
Auburn as a favorite this year, 23-6 straight up, 14-11-4 against the spread. New Mexico State as a dog, 2-1 straight up.
I say, were they a dog many times?
Not many times, but they were a dog 3 times, 2-1 straight up as a dog, 3-0 against the spread. So, now in the NCAA tournament, they never do well. But could they show up this season?
The caliber of athletes they get matched up against just doesn't help them.
I think
they're excellent in the league they play in.
Everybody is around the country. New Mexico State is a trendy upset pick, and everybody's now. There's a reason the line has gone from Auburn -7 to Auburn -7.5. I think this team is still hot. I understand they're playing in Salt Lake City. I got that.
What does that matter?
It doesn't.
I'm just trying to figure out
it's going across the country.
All right.
So moving it
like a private jet. Okay, that's nice.
I'm with you. In some cases, it does matter.
3-hour, 4-hour bus ride. I just don't think it matters.
I think it does in some instances.
Okay. I would like to hear those instances.
And we'll get to some of them as the tournament goes along.
Okay.
As the tournament goes along. Again, we are at Sam's Town Casino in Tunica. Make sure you come out and hang out with us today. We are here all day long. It's going to be an absolute blast. Games kick off at 11:15 a.m. Chris and I will be here watching games until the very last shot goes in. It's going to be a good time. They're doing it today and tomorrow. We will be back here again at 10 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. So tune back in on Facebook, etc. Share the show out. Let's get more people in here commenting, talking. You tell us your thoughts. We want to hear what you're thinking. I'm taking Auburn. I'm taking Auburn, and I'm taking Auburn to cover.
And Auburn to cover.
Yeah.
I'm same thing.
It seems too much of a setup. It's too trendy. I'm going the opposite way. I like Auburn here. We ready for Florida State, Vermont?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's move on to that one. Florida State, Vermont, that's a 4:13. It's at 1 p.m. Central on TBS. Florida State minus 10.5 was the opening line. 133.5 was the total on that one. And we're not going to touch totals on these games because it's almost impossible to figure out everybody's motivated, but are they going to slow it down? It's just almost impossible to figure out.
I mean, if you have a feeling about one, then you can say it. I have no feeling about any of the totals, so I'm not going to give anything.
Almost every one that I've gone through has been almost right on the projection. So, staying away. I haven't seen anything crazy. No, we'll bring up the total here and there just to kind of give you an idea so that you got enough information. But, Florida State, Vermont, it closed or it hasn't closed. As of right now, it is Florida State minus 11. The projection has it Florida State minus 8.25. So a little bit inflated. People seem to love Florida State, and that's okay. The game is in Hartford, Connecticut. This is one of those that I feel like you're not going to have a lot of Florida State fans travel to Hartford, but Vermont and Connecticut, really close. There's going to be, and Vermont doesn't have a huge fan base, but you know how these NCAA tournament games get. If Vermont can keep it close early, that whole arena will turn on Florida State.
But that has nothing to do with it being in
And it doesn't matter about I'm with you. It doesn't matter about
like
location as far as that goes.
Underdog is playing. All the fans of all the other schools there are going to be rooting for the underdog because they want their team to have the best chance to go on.
No, you're right.
They want the bigger guys to get knocked off.
That makes sense.
So it doesn't matter the location. None of that matters because the arenas are going to turn on the big boys every time.
There were two 4-13 upsets last year. There was Buffalo over Arizona and Marshall over Wichita State. The two fours that only won by 4 points. The fours were 0-4 against the spread last season. And to take it even further, the underdog is 14-1 with 11 straight-up wins in Florida State's last 15 NCAA tournament games. Leonard Hamilton, the underdog, is 15-4 against the spread with 11 outright wins. Leonard Hamilton is 3-8 against the spread with 6 straight-up losses as a favorite in the tournament. They perform way poorly as a favorite. Now, last year, they made it all the way to the Elite Eight as a 9 seed. So they were an underdog all the way through. I think that might be a little different this year. Florida State has played insanely well. I mean, they beat Virginia. They hang tough with North Carolina. They beat Syracuse. They beat Clemson. They played
close.
Really close.
Really close. They're not scared of Duke.
No, they have got athletes for days.
They're not afraid of them.
Vermont is a really good basketball team, but they have not seen anything near the caliber of athletes that Florida State is bringing into this game. So, with that said, numbers are Florida State as a favorite this year, 23-3 straight up, 11-15 against the spread, which is funny because in the tournament, of course. Vermont as a dog, 1-3 straight up, 2-1-1 against the spread.
I was going to say, I don't think they've been a dog much.
No, 4 times all year.
Listen, Binghamton and Stony Brook aren't your elite powers here.
Vermont, they played UMBC. They played them 3 times this year. They lost the first 2.
Yeah.
And then in the championship game, they actually won that game. And their coach said that there was more pressure on them to win that game than there is on this game. And it makes perfect sense.
Well, that game matters. This game, nobody in the world is picking
is expecting Vermont.
For them, so.
Yeah, they're not expecting Vermont to perform well, and that's all right, right? I mean, that's perfectly fine.
So who you liking this one?
I'm gonna roll with Florida State to win straight up. I'm going Vermont with the points. So Vermont plus 11.
If you made me bet this game side, I would bet Vermont as well. I'm not going to. But, yeah, Florida State will be in one of my money line parlays.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Let's move on from there.
That money line is minus 650. If you think Vermont can pull it off, you'll get 475.
Plus 475.
If you think Vermont can pull it off, it'll be 475.
Yeah, so $100 when you $475. Not bad. 1:45 p.m. Central Time on CBS. Bradley and Michigan State. Michigan State opened -18. That line has jumped up to -19.5. There's not a lot to talk about with this. Kyle Ans out for the tournament, right? Back injury. 3 guys lost for the season for Michigan State this year. Cassius Winston, he's got to stay healthy for this team. That's the biggest thing to watch for. I don't think there's any chance Michigan State loses the game. I think they could toy around with Bradley. And
19.5, I was just staying away.
Yeah, it's just a lot of points. But, I would expect Michigan – this will be a snoozer.
Yeah.
I fully expect it to be a snoozer. Bradley can't score. Their offense is not good enough to keep up with this. Interesting fact, last 21 years, 12 national champions won their conference tournament before the NCAA tournament. Only Duke and Michigan State this year, those are the only 2 that are on the top 4 seed lines. And they're both in the same bracket. With this one, Bradley 10-7 straight up as a dog, which is pretty good. It's not bad. 11-6 against the spread. Michigan State 26-4 straight up as a favorite. 22-8 against the spread. Really, really good. I could see
they're one of the best teams in the country.
I could see Michigan State getting up big in this one and then taking Cassius Winston out.
That's right.
And just resting him for the next go round because
no reason to kill it.
You cannot let him get hurt.
This is a complete stay away from me.
Yeah, I agree. No, if you want to toss him in a money line parlay, that's fine.
Here right now, there's not a money line for it.
Oh, is there not? Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, there's not one for Kentucky either,
yeah.
Or Michigan, or da-da-da-da.
Yes.
Okay. We've only got 2 more games to talk about. 3 more? Oh, Belmont. I'm sorry. I moved on too quickly. Again, just so everybody knows, if you're just tuning in, 1, share the show out for us. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, follow on Facebook. But share it out with your buddies. Comment in. We can see every comment that's coming in. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys being a part of the show. But, yeah, we're at Sam's Town Casino in Tunica, Mississippi for the NCAA Tournament. We're here all day. We're staying the night tonight. We're doing it all again tomorrow, broadcasting at 10 a.m., 4 p.m. Central Time both days. Going to be a good time. We're here all day, like I said. Come and hang out with us. Next one up, we got 3 games left to discuss, and then everybody can get in and get their tickets and make sure you got your bets in. So, Belmont, Maryland. It's at 2:10 p.m. on True TV. Total was 147.5 when it opened last night. Maryland -3. It is now Maryland -4. Every year since the first 4 started, a team from that field, from the at-large pool, has reached the second round. That's 8 years straight. 4 of those have made the Sweet 16. Now, I felt really good about Belmont initially because it's a really good team. They shoot the ball insanely well. They what's the guy's name? Dylan. I should have written it down. I thought I'd remember that. That's ridiculous. Either way, possible NBA talent. He can shoot. He's big. Moves well without the ball. All the cliche stuff, right? Belmont played late Tuesday, really late Tuesday, and then had to fly from Dayton to Jacksonville to play the 2:10 p.m., 3:10 p.m. Eastern time game. Why would they not put them as a late game on Thursday? But it doesn't make any sense. It's like you've already got disadvantages being Belmont. Why would you not help this team out a little bit? And just help out the first 4 teams. Am I crazy for this?
I think it's okay. I think it's okay. They didn't play last night.
Yeah.
They had an entire day off.
I mean, they had a day, but they had to travel.
It's an airplane, man.
I know it's an airplane,
we're not
but it's
crossing the Sahara here, man.
You look at this differently than I do.
I just never understand these excuses about, I got to go across country on a big tube of steel that's made to fly through the air.
Yeah, but the side of this,
sit in a bus for 3 hours because it's just a flight, man. It's just hop in a bird.
And then I guess you can use that time to do your game film study and everything.
You're off your feet. What's the big deal?
I don't know, man.
They're not riding coach with Southwest, dude.
No, you're right.
I don't understand. I think we make a big deal about now when you have to travel the day before, the day of, and you're doing different stuff. Like, we're having a little different conversation.
Well, I think sometimes it takes a little time because obviously we've flown places before. It takes a little bit to get used to.
That's right.
Where you are now.
It usually takes about a day.
Yeah,
That's
which
what
is.
I'm saying. But they travel and they're fine now. By 2:00 today,
they should be okay.
They probably got in yesterday about noon.
Yeah.
And then they're fine. Like, how's this a big deal?
I do still think
hours.
Belmont is a live dog in this.
Public, I love them.
The public agrees with me as far as that just seems like kind of a harsh turnaround, right? That's why the line went from 3 to 4 overnight.
I could be wrong. I don't have a lot of. I don't believe in Maryland.
Neither do I. Well, I'll tell you this. Here's a fun fact, and this is for Maryland and several other teams, but no team has lost the first game of their conference tournament and gone on to win a national championship. Now, we didn't expect Maryland to win a national championship, but that is something to look into.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I think Belmont's going to be ready. I think they're going to be really excited to be here.
Yeah.
I don't know how excited Maryland is to be here.
Well, motivation is not really motivation is not really an issue in the NCAA tournament, but Maryland is extremely inconsistent, and they've been that way all year.
Belmont plus the 4 and Belmont money line.
I'll probably take Belmont money line. It's plus 160, Maryland minus 180. That sounds about right. I might take a flyer on that. So because again, an 11 seed or a 12 seed, a team from the first 4 has made the Sweet 16 4 out of the last 8 years. This looks like the team that could do it because Belmont is a fantastic basketball team.
I'm just worried about today.
Belmont 2-1 straight up, 3-0 against the spread as an underdog this year. So they've only been an underdog 3 times. And Maryland 17-5 straight up as a favorite, 10-2 against the spread, which is fine. Maryland is fine, right? That's the way it goes. Next game up. This is the second to last one for the morning slate. Northeastern, Kansas. 13-4, 3 p.m. Central on TNT. Kansas open -8. It is now -8.5. I don't understand that at all. There's a lot of national love. It's really trendy to pick Northeastern, right?
Correct.
But let me give you reasons why you need to go Northeastern. Okay, because I really believe in this one. Kansas has been less than a 2 seed only 4 times under Bill Self. He is 1-3 against the spread in those 4 games with 2 outright losses. On top of that, 18 of the last 22 first-round games with CAA teams has ended in either a victory or a single-digit loss. 14 of those games, which were losses, were by 5 points or less. I'm all in. Northeastern is a fantastic basketball team. Like, I've watched Northeastern probably more than a normal person should. One, I've bet on them a lot this year.
Okay.
But as anybody that watches the show knows, I am an Alabama fan. They whooped Alabama's ass back in November. I'm talking stomped them. And they got guys that can shoot the ball, and they shoot it at like a 40% clip. I mean, they will be able to score on Kansas today. And I wonder if Kansas isn't just kind of ready to get this season over with.
Probably.
I mean, they've lost 3 guys that were projected to be starters. Like, it's Silvio De Souza. Just the whole thing. So, really, on top of that, their inside game, Dedrick Lawson's great, and he's a stats monster. But is he really dominant down low? Like, I don't buy that at all.
No, you hit the nail on the head in the sense of they're inconsistent, and it looks like they've quit on this season.
It kind of
now
obviously
they fought hard. They won some games I didn't think they were going to win.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, they did get to play like West Virginia and stuff like that. And on top of that, they lost the Big 12 Conference Championship, like regular season championship, for the first time in 15 years. And I think maybe they thought if we just win the conference tournament, then we'll just say the streak's still going.
That's right.
But
you can't do that.
But you get into this, and you got a team like Northeastern that is not going to quit, that will stay riding you the whole ball game, that can shoot it, that is prepared for a game like this. I'm all over Northeastern on this. Now the only issue is they're 2-7 straight up as a dog this year. 3-5-1 against the spread as a dog. Kansas 24-4 straight up as a favorite. 13-14-1 against the spread. The game is in Salt Lake City, so not really a home court advantage for Kansas, and that's where they have played their best basketball. On the road and neutral site games, Kansas has been abysmal this year. Absolutely abysmal. They feel comfortable at home. This is not at home. I'm taking Northeastern plus the points. I'm taking Northeastern on the money line.
Plus 300.
Plus 300. Yeah, I'm taking Northeastern money line today.
Same thing. I got them the same thing. I'll be doing both.
Okay, so you agree with me on all that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Totally
Okay, good. Before we get to the last game, and obviously we'll end the broadcast a little early, which will be fine because we got to go get our tickets, and there's already a line at Sam's Town, which is a good thing. This place is already slammed. Again, at Sam's Town Casino in Tunica. We're here all day. Basketball from 11:15 a.m. all the way until, midnight, basically?
Yeah.
It's going to be a long, long night, and we cannot be more excited to be here. The show brought to you by Tunica, Mississippi, the South's premier sports gambling destination. You can find more information on this place, on all the casinos, everything else, including Sam's Town, over at tunicatravel.com. So jump in, check that thing out. Last game of the morning session. Again, we will be back here at 4 p.m. Central. So make sure you hop back in, share the show out, subscribe so you can be notified that we're going. Murray State Marquette. It's one of my favorite matchups.
Mine too.
Now, it's not even because of like a lean or anything like that. It's John Morant against Marcus Howard is must-see. Even if Marcus Howard is injured, which he's had a wrist problem. But I'm telling you.
These are two athletes.
Oh, they are fantastic. Now, they get their points different ways.
Oh, no. Yeah,
right, like John Morant, like he leads the tourney field in assists.
No doubt.
10 assists a game. That's pretty outstanding. He is projected top 3 draft pick. Right. Marcus Howard gets his from, the foul line. Like John Morant scores inside, in the paint. He can get to the rim. That's why he is projected the top 3. Marcus Howard, however, lights it up from 3.
That's right.
Now, with the injury, I'm curious if he's going to be able to do that today. He was 1 for 15 in their Big East tournament loss. So we'll see what happens with that. But it is a fantastic matchup. 2 great guards. Since 2012, there's been 7 5 seeds favored by less than 4 points against 12 seeds. 1-6 against the spread, 2-5 straight up. Clemson won and covered last year, so that's where that 1 came from. But Marquette, minus 4.5, opened, and it sat there. I don't feel great either way, but Murray State has been on an absolute tear lately, and Marquette has played like complete dog crap. That's the best way to put it, right?
No, they have finished the season playing really bad.
Yeah.
There's no nice way to say that.
No, it's they finished very poorly. They lost 4 straight to end the regular season to lose the Big East championship.
That's right. And Murray State
would not have been in this field.
They're not world beaters. They're John Morant and some dudes.
Yeah.
But he is really good.
He is all world, and I cannot
I'm
wait.
I'm going to be taking the 4.5 with Murray State, and I'm going to take the money line plus 170. It's a pretty even game. I just want so bad for Murray State to win because I just want another opportunity to watch John.
Yeah.
That's it. I just want him on TV in a big time area.
And I think we're going to get that.
I think I'm going to bet it.
Like I'll take the plus 4.5 on this. I may stay away from the money line just so I can be safe with this because Marquette is still a really good team, and if they can find a way to flip that switch, they've been outstanding all year. Now it just kind of depends on can they get hot.
I completely agree. Marquette's a really good team.
Yeah,
they're more than one guy.
Yeah, they're definitely. Now, of course, I bring up Marcus Howard because he is the star.
He is a star.
But this is a good team.
They are more than one guy. They're well coached. There's more to them than that. I really like Ja. I want to keep watching him play. That's it. So
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Man, I'm here to play.
That's exactly what we were about to do. That game is at 3:30 p.m. Central on TBS.
What games do you actually? So we picked every game, but we're not betting every game.
My favorites right now.
First set of games.
So my favorites right now, I'm going to take Yale +8 against LSU. I'm taking Northeastern plus 8.5 against Kansas, and I'm doing the money line on that, which is what, plus 300? Is that what we said it was?
Yeah, Northeastern.
And so yeah, Northeastern plus 300 on the money line. I'm going to take Murray State plus the 4.5. And what was the other one here? Oh, I was going to do a money line parlay of Louisville, LSU, and Auburn.
Okay.
And that would pay out about plus 120, 125.
That's one thing. As long as I've been gambling, I have not the faintest idea of how to figure money line parlays out.
Well, because it's different because of the money lines. Yeah, the numbers are all different. So really, they parlays like a 2-teamer should pay out what, 6 to 1?
No,
or no, 3 to 1.
2-teamer is just 2.65 to 1. It's a little more.
And then a 3-teamer is what, 6 to 1? Is that right? I think that's right. So 3-team parlay is 6 to 1. But it's 6 to 1 based on.
I used to know it like the back of my hand.
That's you feel. We should probably get back into this.
I had to know it.
Yeah.
That's my job to know it.
Yeah.
All right. So
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So I got.
Now you don't have to do that because we got Samstown.
I'm gonna do moneyline parlay LSU, Auburn, Florida State. That's my moneyline parlay. And I will be betting Belmont +4, little bit touch on the money line. Northeastern
just sprinkle a little
+8.5, and the money line. Murray State +4.5, and the money line.
I like it.
I'll probably put something on Minnesota's game just to have it.
Okay.
I'll probably just bet Minnesota in the points just to have something riding.
That makes sense. For the first game, you got to have something going, right?
We can't tip off here and have nothing. Unless we get in line and we can't get the ticket, then I'm not.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean it's a long line right now as it stands. So, so come on out, Samstown. We'll be here all day. Samstown down in Tunica, Mississippi. The show is brought to you by Tunica, Mississippi, South's premier sports gambling destination. 6 incredible sports books. You can find more information about all of them, along with what to do in Tunica at tunicatravel.com. We appreciate you guys hanging out today. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Winning Cures. You can follow me at Gary WCE.
You can follow me at Chris B. Giannini.
You can follow the show on Facebook, facebook.com/Winning Cures Everything. Hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We go live from YouTube, Facebook, and the at Gary WCE Twitter account. So you can follow the show at 4 o'clock this afternoon, 4 p.m. Central. We'll be going over the afternoon slate of games. It's going to be a good time. Go and check out everything at winningcureseverything.com. Again, subscribe, share, leave comments, leave reviews. We appreciate the support. We will see you guys again this afternoon. Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show, leave a nice review, and make sure to comment and tweet at us.